Good morning, everyone, ladies, gentlemen, single-cell organisms. Thank you for joining us today. This is our fourth in our series of new iVisionMobile workshops. We really do appreciate everyone's participation. We look forward to your questions, and hopefully have a good presentation for you today. As always, all participants are currently muted, so if you have any questions, please use the chat function. Members of our team are monitoring and will respond as needed. And of course, with time allowing, we'll open the floor at the end of this presentation for Q&A on your target list questions. So, with no further ado, let's get started. Today's workshop centers on target lists, how to create them, and common uses. As databases grow, there comes a point where there's a desire to segment contacts. Maybe it's because the database is very large and the desire is to send fewer messages. Maybe it's because there are new products or services being offered that directly appeals to an exclusive group of contacts. In either case, you're going to find great power and flexibility in using target lists. So on today's call, we're going to briefly discuss what a target list is. Then we'll review some of the features and benefits of the target list system itself. We'll review using data columns and editing and some of the questions that usually come up. We'll review how to create a target group and some of the more common setup examples, as well as a complex setup example. And of course, with time allowing, we'll open the floor for your questions. So let's get started with a brief definition. So what is a target list? Easily put, a target list is a group of contacts that has been created based on predetermined criteria. Target lists can either be static, fixed, or dynamic, always changing, based on the criteria you've chosen. Often called filters, target lists are really formulas that filter available contacts through selected criteria to create a list of contacts that meet your determined requirements, such as birthday is blank, a coupon that has not been redeemed, or kiosk activity greater than or lesser than a year ago. Ultimately, they allow greater control over who gets which messages. In turn, it creates a better, more personalized experience for the contact, and when offers and promotions are sent to contacts based on their interest, it results in better response rates. There are a number of practical and substantial benefits to using target lists as part of your engagement strategies. So let's take a look at some of our features. Target lists are flexible. Currently, there are 50+ available data points and variable conditions you can choose from when creating a target list. This includes conditional statements like exact match, greater than, is in list options, as well as specific contact information like first name, area code, custom field data, etc. The system allows you to easily select the desired data from drop-down menus. And we've created a supplemental list that will help you better understand the options that are available to you. You'll find this when we release the article for this presentation. Target lists are also very dynamic. They can be created before contacts start opting into an account, and the list that was created filters for updates automatically as contacts opt out or either miss or meet specific criteria. Target lists only contain supported opted-in contacts. This allows you to list viable message recipients for your targeted needs. They do not contain duplicate mobile numbers, which is very useful when creating a target list of contacts opted into several keywords. In particular, this feature prevents a contact opted into multiple keywords from receiving the message multiple times. Target lists allow you to include or exclude contacts, which is very useful towards ensuring that account admin, ownership, management, or staff receive an account's messages despite not meeting the selected criteria. Not only can they be used to send messages, they can also be exported for reporting needs. The data contained in the exported file can be easily customized to include or exclude database fields based on the account's view settings. And target lists can also be merged and subtracted from one another in a target group to allow for more dynamic messaging needs where lists add to, remove from, or also exist in one another. So let's get a brief orientation on how target lists are structured and how we edit them. After you've entered the name of your target list, you are asked to select the data with a series of columns and drop-down menus. If you stared at this page like a deer in headlights, don't worry, you're not alone. It may look complex, but it's actually pretty easy to understand. So, as mentioned before, target lists are really formulas that allow contacts to be filtered by selected criteria. We use the columns and drop-down menus provided to select that criteria and create and/or statements. With a single data point, such as a specific area code or specific carrier, this can be a list where contacts must meet multiple data points, such as date created and keyword. This can also be a list where contacts can meet one column of target data, or the second column of target data, or the third column of target data. So here are a couple examples. One data point selected in data field data column 1 creates a singular statement. In this case, date created is equal to 1 year ago. Okay. Additional data points selected vertically down a column represent an and statement. In this case, anyone in the selected keyword and the selected area code. Contacts must meet both data points to appear on this list, and as a result, it produces a more narrow list. Using multiple columns simultaneously presents an or statement. Contacts must meet the data points of column 1 or the data points of column 2. This results in a wider pool of contacts to potentially meet your criteria. Despite the availability of OR statements, we do recommend, whenever possible, to create singular target lists that are merged and subtracted into a target group instead of using the OR propositions themselves. The reason for this is simple. The more you add to a target list, the harder it is to identify why a contact is on a particular list. Did they meet the criteria in column 1, or did they meet the criteria in column 2? By creating 2 separate lists for use with the target group, it'll be very easy to see which group the contact belongs to. It also allows greater flexibility later on. A common question we receive about target lists is related to editing. Okay. The data points on an existing target list cannot be changed or edited once it was created. However, you can duplicate the list and revise it as needed. To use different criteria, you can either create a brand new list, or you can click the edit icon for the desired list, then click the copy and edit button to create a duplicate list and revise it as needed. The other common edit option available is naming. To edit a target list's name, click the edit icon for the desired list, then click the title to enter edit mode and revise the name as needed. One last stop before we dive into some practical setup examples is creating a target group. As mentioned previously, target groups allow you to merge and subtract multiple lists from one another. In fact, you can merge or subtract up to 5 target lists, allowing you to create a very dynamic messaging experience. Another nice thing about target groups is they can be modified at any time. Depending on the adjustments that are needed, you can easily switch out one of the selected lists from another that's available and add an additional target list to the group. It's important to note here that while target lists can be used for BLAST, they cannot be exported. Keeping in mind the target list feature is extremely flexible, and this is only a glimpse at what the feature can create, let's dive in and take a look at some common setup examples. Birthday clubs are a very popular feature in the system. However, from time to time, a contact may neglect to enter their birthday on a web form or a kiosk, or perhaps they had every intention of replying to the text asking them for their birthday, but they simply forgot. This type of target list setup is very common and is structured to look at birthday data and lists opted-in contacts if their birthday field is blank. To construct it, you only need one data point, birthday, within the data column 1, where the birthday is set to blank. So let's set one up. In this account here, we have a target list that was already created. Birthday is blank. By clicking the magnifying glass that we see under the number of opt-ins column, we can see that there are 703 contacts in this list. By clicking the edit icon, we can see the data that was selected to create the list. In this case, birthday is blank. Here we can also see the edit icon to revise the title of the target list, as well as the copy and edit button mentioned earlier. Let's show you how easy this is to create. From the target list menu, we click the create button, and then we enter a name. Okay. Birthday is blank. And I call this number 3. So, excuse me. So using the first drop-down menu in data column 1, we search for and select birthday. Okay. Once we've selected our data, we must set our conditions. In this case, we are not looking for a specific date. In fact, we're looking for people who have birthdays that are blank. And so we're going to check mark this box. With our selections in, we click the Generate List button, and the target list is created. As we can see here, it represents the data that we've selected as well as the number of contacts that it contains. From here, we can review the list, or we can go back to the list manager and create another target list as needed. This particular kind of list, birthday is blank, is an excellent way to identify those who have not yet provided a birthday and allow this account the opportunity to send out a reminder message asking the contact to provide their birthday information so they can join the birthday club. This type of message can be sent out as a blast with data capture, or the list can be used in conjunction with a trigger program, allowing for automated reminder messages to go out as scheduled. On that note, we do not recommend asking contacts to join a birthday club more than 2 or 3 times. So you'll want to make sure that your triggered program limits the number of attempts made. Another commonly used target list relates to identifying contacts based on their kiosk activity. As databases grow, many accounts find that their list contains a mix of active and active contacts. It can be quite frustrating to send a blast to all opted-in contacts only to find that a portion of the list doesn't participate. Now, while branding and name recognition is never a wasted text, some accounts do want to limit their reach of their offers to those who have visited during the last month, the last quarter, or the last year or more. In this example, we'll look at constructing a list that targets contacts that have visited an account during the last year. To construct it, you only need one data point. Again, this is going to be kiosk activity all within data column 1, where the entered value calculates the last year dynamically. This allows us to create a list that adjusts the date range and the contacts it contains on a daily basis. Well, let's take a look at how we set this up. Okay. Here we have a list that was already created, check-ins less than 1 year ago. We can see, again, that it has, oops, pardon me, sorry, looks like I'm having a little bit of an error there. Let me just sign back in. Here we can see that it has 1,030 contacts associated with it. And then again, we can click the edit icon and see the data that was used to construct this list. So let's show you how easy this is to create. Again, from the target list menu, we click the create button, and then we enter a name. Okay. Checked in during the last year. Then we use the drop-down menus and columns where we select our data. Again, data filter column 1. In this case, I want kiosk last activity all. Rather than specific kiosk activity like joining a loyalty program, checking in, when they earn their last reward, or when they redeemed their last coupon, we want a list that looks at any and all activity. So we're using the kiosk last activity all because it casts the widest net. Unlike birthday, kiosk activity is not blank. And so here we must enter a date value. So when entering a date conditions, we must choose between hard dates and dynamic dates. The upper section, this one we see here, is where you select hard dates related to a specific year, okay, a specific month, all the 12 months of the year, specific day, all the days of the month, or a specific date. The lower section is used to select dynamic dates. For our condition, we want a dynamic date range so that whether we use it today or 6 months from now, it will always show us the mobile contacts that used the kiosk during the last year. So we select our time span, less than, and our parameter, 1 year ago. And as you see here, based on these calculations, it'll show us anyone who had their last any activity from August 19th, 2020 through today. Tomorrow, these dates will shift. 1 week from now, these dates will shift accordingly. Once we've made our selection, we click Submit, and then we generate our target list. Okay. Again, we can go back to List Manager, or we can review our list. Okay. Now, on the flip side, if you desire a message to be sent to contacts that have not used the kiosk in over a year, the setup is the same, except that your date condition changes. Instead of less than 1 year, you need to select greater than 1 year ago. So let's set that one up too. For this, though, let's use the copy and edit function for the list that we just created. So we find our list, check-ins during the last year. We click our edit icon, and then here we click copy and edit. This will produce a list with a name that represents the name that was given to the original list, followed by 2 in parentheses. And it will contain the data of the original list. Here we just make our adjustments accordingly. And as we know, instead of less than 1 year ago, we want greater than 1 year ago. And so we simply click the Enter Value field, and we change our span. Instead of less than, more than 1 year ago, click Submit, click to generate our target list. Now we have 2 lists. Next part is to rename it so that we don't forget what the purpose of this list is. And so in this case, check-ins during the last year changes to check-in greater than 1 year ago, and then click Save. Now when we go to our target list, we'll see we have check-ins during the last year, 1,030 people, check-ins greater than 1 year ago, 743. Now let's take a look at a little bit more complex list setup. For this example, we want to produce a list of people that haven't yet used their coupon so that we can send them a reminder to redeem it before it's too late. This is called a coupon reminder. A coupon reminder target list is a little more complicated than the previous example because there isn't one specific data point to choose that gives us the information that we want. So we'll need to create a couple of singular target lists and group them together. First, we need to create a target list based on coupon name. This will give us all opted-in contacts that received the coupon. Second, we need to create a target list based on coupon name and coupon redemption date. This will give us all of the contacts that received that coupon and redeemed it. Lastly, we need to create a target group that removes the contacts who have redeemed the coupon from the list of contacts that received it. This will leave us with the remainder, those who have not yet redeemed that coupon. For target list 1, we'll need one data point, coupon name. That again is data filter column 1, one single parameter, coupon name, and we'll select our coupon name from the available list. For the second target list, we need to create an AND statement using 2 data points. In this case, same, data filter column 1, we'll choose coupon name, selecting our coupon from the list, then we'll choose coupon redemption date and select the desired coupon expiration value. For the target group, we'll create a scenario where one list is removed from the other. In this case, we want to remove all of the contacts that have redeemed the coupon from the list of contacts that have received it. This will produce a text-worthy list of contacts that have not yet redeemed this coupon. Okay? For visual learners out there, this system makes it very easy to understand how these target groups, the lists within these target groups relate to one another by providing a visual example. You'll be able to see this in the target group itself. So let's set one up and take a look at what this is like. Okay. Again, here in this account, we have the lists that are already created. Coupon name, issued and redeemed, 401. Coupon here, 39. Okay, so these that have been redeemed. This is actually issued and unredeemed. Right? Minus those that have been redeemed, 39. Then all coupons minus those that are redeemed produces the remainder, which is 362. Okay. So again, in this example, we want to target people that have not yet redeemed the reward. So let's see how easy this complex setup is actually to create. So first, we're going to create a target list. This is going to be our coupon name. Coupon, in this case, we're going to do our reward. All issued. I'm going to call this coupon reward all issued. Data filter column 1. For here, we will select our coupon name is in a particular list. We're going to click the enter value, and it's going to provide us with all of the coupons that have been sent through this account. In this case, reward, $25 gift card. Select our coupon, click submit. We generate our target list. The second part of that is the coupon with our date parameter. Looking at what was already created here, we have, there we go, where is it? Coupon redeemed. Our $25 gift card and our redemption date less than 3 months ago. So again, we're going to create our next list. Coupon reward was redeemed. Click next. So once again, we select our coupon name to be very specific on the redemptions that we're looking for. So once again, is in our list, reward, $25 gift card. The next, an AND proposition. So we're going to select the next data option below. So here, redemption date. And this is going to be, again, another dynamic condition. And so whether we use it today or we use it 6 months from now, it's going to provide us a list of people who have redeemed this coupon during the last 3 months. And And so here, or actually, yeah, less than 3 months ago. Okay, I have a typo in my target list, so let's just rename it. We're going to review the list. We're going to edit our title, save our changes. Okay, changing names is very simple. So now we have our coupon that was issued and our coupon that was redeemed. So let's create our new target group. All rewards minus redeemed in last 3 months. So as it says here at the top, the sequence is linear from the first list to the 5th list. Okay, so we want to select our target lists here, all issued, minus those that were redeemed. Okay, once we select our target list, then we choose how they relate, how this second list relates to the first. In this case, remove from. The options add to, combine the lists together, remove from, produces a negative, and so it removes it, a minus. Or you can do an also exist in, and this is compares. Do they exist on both sides? For us, we want remove from. So we'll save our group settings, and then we'll click done. Now we have a target list representing 362 people who have not yet redeemed that particular coupon. We can use this very easily for our text blasts. Now, as mentioned before, the target lists are incredibly dynamic and they can do a lot. These are just very simple examples, both in complex and really most common uses. And the variability is insane. The number of stacking, the data points that can be combined together, the specifics of a general account. And so without getting too deep in the weeds on others, we want to just turn this over and see if anybody has any questions to share with us today. I haven't seen anything come through the chat window, so I hope that means that this is answering a lot of those questions, and certainly hope that I didn't cause any more confusion. But if anybody has anything to add, I'd be happy to answer anything you've got, show you another example, maybe go in a little bit more in depth.
Lori, there's a question that came in about reminding about expiring rewards that are expiring in the future and how to go about creating a target list for a coupon that is expiring on a future date.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So that example is a little different than the one that I was giving in this call today. The sample that we provided here was this particular reward. We were looking at it based on redemptions. This particular coupon doesn't have an expiration date, and so it doesn't fall within the purview of future date. The future date option is incredibly useful if you have a predetermined date for the coupon. But if your reward or coupon doesn't expire, this is the better way to go about doing that. For a coupon that expires on a future date, you would create a target list here, and so coupon expires in future. I don't know that we have any here in this account to exemplify, but I'll just give you an example of how the pieces would come together. And so here we would go on our list to coupon name, and so let's try our August savings event. Okay. And then the second parameter would be our coupon expires in future, coupon expiration date future. And so this would allow us, imagine a blast or an auto engagement offer or some kind of initial offer that expires within the next 7 days. You would certainly want to create a target list like that to let people know, hey, your offer is going to expire 2 days from now. And so in this case, we would say it expires equal to 2 days. Notice this says ahead. And so this will be, this coupon expires 2 days into the future. Okay, and anyone that receives this offer that has not yet redeemed it, and that coupon that they were issued expires 2 days from now, would show up on this list. As I said, This account doesn't have that specific coupon available to them, and so it doesn't produce any data. But that would be the better way to go about creating that particular target list. Barbara, does that answer your question?
Looks pretty straightforward.
Let's see.
So
you choose yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lori.
No, if you choose end of day for expiration, how do you define days? Homer, maybe you can chime in on that one.
Yeah, so looking at, for example, a scenario where you're choosing an end of day, that's a good question, and I'm not sure that is going to be applicable for a coupon that's expiring in the future. It just depends on if it's expiring the same day that it's issued, or if it's expiring on a future date. I don't think the end of day is relevant necessarily. It's really more so when that coupon is expiring. If it's on the same day, it's going to be hard to calculate or create a target list for coupons that are expiring that day. My guess would be that the end of day would not impact the target list creation as long as the coupon is expiring on a future date that you can identify.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then, there's a lot of different scenarios here for target lists, and again, we just covered a sampling of them. You can search for target lists based on kiosk activity. You can search for target list data based on coupon activity, and then you can search for target list data based on contact data, for example, any standard fields or custom fields, for example. In some cases, a custom field might be a date field. You can designate it as a date field. In some cases, it's numeric, so that will determine the pop-ups that you get to select those date ranges and those date criteria on the target list. Barbara, I think for your question, perhaps an offline call with Lori to walk through your scenario is going to be a little bit more beneficial for you, so we don't want to tie everybody up with a scenario. And there are obviously some hurdles, to an end of day, as it relates to time zone settings and expiration. So that's something we can explore with you offline. All right, Lori, fantastic job today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And there's going to be another call coming up in just a couple of weeks here. And we'll be sure to email you out information on that upcoming call here, which is going to focus on loyalty programs.
That's right, spend-based loyalty in particular, absolutely. Look forward to it. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. Again, like Homer said, keep an eye out for the email with the videos and let us know if you have any questions. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.